Okay guys, I have been tracking a max weight red deer, and I just got a warning call, so I'm pretty sure we are going to find a drink zone here. Hey guys, we're back here on the Hunter Call the Wild, and I'm Lady Legend. Today we're going to be doing a red deer zone guide here in newly reset Cuatro Colinas. Red deer do have a new drink time. They now drink from 6 until 10 or 10:30 in Cuatro. They only have the one drink time, and that's it. And they have all new zones. They are all over the map. Oop, there they are. Today we're going to find a bunch of zones. I am going to share a hotspot map with you at the end of the video, showing you exactly where all of my red deer zones are in newly reset Cuatro. Now we have the 308 here. Geez, there are not a lot to pick from. That is kind of sad. And he did. He just went down. Oh, don't run me over. All right. Where's the zone indicator? I need my zone first. Come on. You want to pick up the zone before you pick up your kill, and there it is. So I'm going to grab this just in case it vanishes when I pick up my kill, and then we will have our zone. And there it is. So this is where we are. We are on the river, and we have our new drink zone, and there it is, 6 till 10:30 for this particular zone. All right. So, oh, it wasn't even a good shot. It was thoracic. Well, that's all right. He is just a 4. He is not a big deal. So 4 maps have been reset since the update, guys. Those maps are Savannah, Cuatro, Mississippi, and Rancho. So you will have a whole new population of every species on all of those 4 maps. Now, some of your red deer zones may not have vanished off your maps, guys. They may still be there, and if they are there, they will have red deer in them. Some of them will vanish, and some of them will stay on your map. So finding your zones is very labor intensive, guys. It does take many, many hours to find all your zones. I am hoping by searching for all my zones and sharing them with you guys that I'm hoping to save you a whole bunch of time in searching for your zones, but it is still going to take you a lot of time. You're not going to have exactly the same zones as me, but you should have very similar zones. So we do have a red deer here. We are on the river. We're going to run the entire river and find every single zone. It is going to take some time. So we do have one right there. So once you have all your zones discovered, and there are a lot of zones in Cuatro, what you want to do is set up your best 10, 12, 15 zones, however many you can get through in one drink time. That is the goal. Once you get through that time, then you want to reset the time, exit your game, and come back in and do another run. Now, the reason you want to exit your game is I find that it gets the deer into their zones a lot faster. I've even come up to zones, spotted, found like 1 stag, left the game, came back to the exact same zone immediately, and had 5 drinking there. It happens all the time. And I have no idea why shutting your game off does that, brings the deer in, but hey, it does work, so I do recommend it. So when you're placing your tents and tripods, you want to put your tents about 250 meters away from the zone, and you want to put your tripod about 175 meters away. And the reason for that is you want to be able to go from your tent straight into the tripod without having to slow down and start shooting away. Speed is the name of the game. Now, tents and tripods are expensive. They're going to run you about 16,000 each. Not about, they are going to run you 16,000 each. And there's another red deer. Sweet! So when you find red deer, guys, don't shoot them. You want to wait until they get into their zone. You want to discover the zone. But once you have all your zones discovered, they really should just respawn into the zones that you're shooting at. So there's a zone right there. Now, when you are jumping around from zone to zone, guys, during my first Great One grind, I shot every single stag. It didn't matter what size it was. If it had antlers, it died. And we got our Great One in, trying to remember, about 4,400 kills. And then the second grind, we did it a little different. What we did was we didn't shoot the 4s and below, even some of the small 5s. If I could at all help it, I didn't shoot them. And we did get our Great One in under 2,200 kills. Now that might be RNG, but I really highly recommend that you don't shoot the smaller ones. It seems to really help with spawning diamonds sooner and that Great One sooner. And we are doing that again. We are doing a 3rd grind, so it'll be very interesting how many kills it will take. The 3rd grind, we did get a 3rd Great One. That was just luck. We got an initial spawn Great One here in Cuatro, guys. So you may actually find a Great One on your map because every Cuatro map has been reset. Everyone should be checking all their red deer zones on every map that has red deer. And that is for an initial spawn Great One. And trust me, guys, I never thought I would ever find an initial spawn Great One. But I I did. So it is worth the time to go and check all of your red deer and whitetail zones for that initial spawn great one. And the maps you will find red deer are Hirschfelden, here in Cuatro, T. Awaroa, and Parque Fernando. Okay guys, we are now at this lake right here. This is the lake to the left of the top right-hand lake. And what I'm noticing is I have been looking for my zones for quite a few days, and I have already been to this lake and found 2 zones. And then I came back today, rechecking the lake, and I found 2 more zones. So originally I had these 2 zones, and today I found this zone and this zone down here. So when you are finding your zones, you may have to go to the lakes or check all the different water sources more than one time. You are likely going to find more zones on the second run. It's like they want you to discover a certain amount, and that prompts the game to give you more zones. I'm not exactly sure if that's how it's working, but it kind of seems that way to me. So definitely go back and check your lakes. If you feel like you can't find any more red deer, you probably have more zones at the lakes you have already checked. Now, when you are setting up, guys, you want to use your tent sparingly. If at all possible, you want to use one tent for multiple zones. This lake would be a great lake to set up for because you have so many zones close together and there are herds there. Now, you can be a lot more sparing with the tripods, guys, because you are allowed 2 tripods for every 1 tent you're allowed on the map. So set up a tripod at every single zone. Well, not every zone, but close to it. And we have 2 beautiful 7s in there. Look at that. Another thing I wanted to point out to you guys is the top right-hand lake used to be the very best lake for red deer in all of Cuatro, and that has changed with the update, guys. So since the update, I only have 3 red deer zones. Most people I speak to have 3 or 4, but I haven't heard of anyone having more than 4 red deer zones at the top right lake since the update. So I have them right here, and right there, and that is the only red deer I have at the top right-hand lake, so that is fascinating. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see where we are. So 2 zones right there, and 2 zones close together right here, so that's very handy as long as they aren't single stag zones. But the problem with the river is that you have to use 2 tents for 1 zone. You have to put 1 tent on the other side and put 1 across so that you can travel over there to just get your kills. Unless you can actually set up on the same side and come over. It all depends on how the land is. But you want to set up in spots where you can use the least amount of tents and tripods. Now, this tent may actually be too close to this lake, guys. I could be preventing a zone from showing up right here. So I'm actually going to move it further out so that you can have every zone come in. Definitely tent and tripod placement can stop your zones from showing up. So you want to be careful with where you place them. And this one actually should be further away as well. So I'm going to have to move those back. Now, if you can at all help it, guys, try not to put your tent on any kind of hill because they're going to be most susceptible to those pesky beavers. And you don't want your tents or your tripods to disappear. So that is a much better spot for my tent. Okay guys, we are at this middle right lake, and just to show you a prime example, I have 2 red deer zones that I have just discovered here, and they are both single stag zones. So they are not the best for farming. And I have checked this lake, and I am definitely finding more zones since I have been here the second time. So you will have to check your spots more than 1 time, more than likely to find all of your zones. And see how it affects the zone, since it is a single stag zone. Now, as far as weapons go, guys, I have been using 2 300s when I'm doing the grind, and no, you do not get integrity with the 300 on red deer, as they are class 6 species. I wish they were 7, don't you guys wish they were 7? I think they're big enough to be class 7. Let me know in the comments how you guys would feel about that. But unfortunately, they are not, so using the 300 does not give integrity, so it does downgrade you a medal. But I am only shooting the level 1s through level 8 with the 300. All the 9 legendaries and anything rare gets shot. Used to be with the 303, but now I am using the 308, and I am loving it. Now, the reason I am using the 300 is so that I can kill these deer faster, do less tracking, and get through this grind faster. Now, the benefit of doing your grind here in Cuatro is that there is daylight, which is delightful. I actually accidentally shot a melanistic red deer stag over in T. Awaroa because it was night and I just couldn't tell. I could not tell. But you can use any 4 to 8 classed rifle for red deer when you are doing the grind, and definitely don't use the 300 if you don't trust yourself to not make mistakes, because it is easy to do. And that was a 265 meter shot with the 308, and the 308 is awesome for red deer. I'm actually surprised we didn't get double lung there. We almost did. But the 308 will do a great job. The 30-06, you could use the M1. You can use the 303, and I do prefer the 300. And of course, the 308 or 303. Either one of them will do a great job for you. Okay, so right now, these are both single stag zones. I have killed both of the deer out of here, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave the game and see if those zones vanish. And there you go, guys. They are totally gone. So that's what happens when you shoot at single stag zones. It just deletes the zone. Now, once the hunting pressure is gone, those zones will more than likely come back in the same area. But it's just a pain to have to keep refinding zones, so I'm gonna pass on the whole thing. Finding all your zones will deeply affect whether or not you get consistent respawns. So that is why it is so important to find all your zones before you start your grind. Now, people do ask, and it is a very good question, how do I know when I have all my zones? That is a very difficult thing to tell. All you can do is start shooting those red deer, start your grind, and oh, we have a troll here. That is a troll. All right, well, we're gonna take him down, and I think there is another beauty back there. This is a nice zone, so this is one we're definitely gonna be setting up at. So we are at Wiggly Lake right here. This is a great Ritos Ibex lake, probably the best one. So if you don't get respawns, what I would do is go back to all the lakes where you have found zones and look some more. You may have more. All right, we're gonna call them out. Now, when you are using your caller, guys, you want to get inside of 200 meters in order for the red deer to hear you. Usually 3 calls is good, but spamming the caller will not spook your red deer. And we do have a mythical. This is quite a nice zone here. Look at these big boys. Holy, all right. Here we go. Beautiful! And we got them both. And splat. Alright, this is our mythical, and look at the size of this beast. I should have got the dog to heal, but that is a beautiful gold 226, and that is a beautiful monster red deer. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the color of the rack looks a little different to me since the update. Have you guys noticed that? Let me know in the comments. Maybe it's just me. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me. But they look really amazing. All right, so this is our troll, and he is 241, and that rack always trolls. So we are right here at Wiggly Lake, and we did find one more zone in the bottom corner the second time we visited this lake. So the zones are coming out in stages for me. And that brings us to the map. So what I've done here, guys, is I put X's on every single red deer drink zone that I have since the update. As you can see, the top right lake doesn't have nearly as many red deer, but this lake right here has all kinds. Boot Lake has quite a few, and there are quite a lot along the river, but definitely go around and check all the same areas. You should have red deer in the same areas as I do. And all in all, I have, I believe, about 43 zones found. I have heard that there are over 50, so I don't have all my zones, but that should definitely get you guys started in finding your zones and setting up for your Cuatro Red Deer guide. And I wish you the best of luck, guys. Now, I will post this map to my Discord for you guys to easily reference, and I will leave the link below the video. And also, just so you know, guys, I have not covered up any zones on this map. If there is lettering or graphics on top of the map, there are no zones under it, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, guys, so this is my Red Deer Lodge after doing the grind. We're 7,200 kills in, and to date, we have spawned 3 great ones. This was the very lucky one. This is the one that I found in Cuatro, and he is the biggest one. He's a 266, and this is the second one that spawned in New Zealand, and he is a 260.4. So that's a small rack, and that's a big rack. So just have a look at this guy. And my wish is for you guys to put one of these in your lodge, and hopefully today's video will help you to do that. I hope you guys really did enjoy the video and learn lots, and if you did, guys, go ahead and smash that like button. It's amazing for the algorithm, and I really do appreciate it. That's gonna wrap it up for this one, guys, and we will definitely see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.